Again. The onslaught brought about by Typhoon Storm Sendong was really terrible. A lot of unexpected things happened during said disaster. The DRO preparedness that we have undergone actually did not match the unforeseen damage that Sendong will bring to Iligan City. As a new unit in the area, one of our immediate preparations in IPSO was to train one of our companies with the city's emergency rescue team. And it was successfully undertaken and completed with a lot of practical exercises. We were then so confident as our problem on lack of equipment will somehow be offset by their equipment and their capabilities as well. However, during the response proper, things did not came out as expected. As one of the first responders, we were caught looking for more DRO equipment. Some of our supposed partners in the said disaster response were victims themselves. And also to note is one of our neighboring city, which is Cagayan de Oro, which has a good DRO capability that can assist Iligan City in such situation, has similarly experienced the same catastrophe. This only means that more or less that during those critical times, it is only the AFP and the PNP who are the only immediate available DRO units to perform the job. During the first hours of the disaster, we have experienced that a company size of immediate responder will not be enough. In fact, through the direction of our brigade, the 2nd Mechanized Infantry Brigade, contingents from 3 more battalions were sent, but it seems not to be enough as well. On the spot, there were 36 barangays within Iligan City that were affected by the calamity, and 7 of which were severely affected. So we can just imagine the needs of our affected fellow Filipinos during those critical moments. And such situation, in such kind of situation, we have nothing left but to apply our military instincts. Response has to be smooth and fast. Instantly, we have immediately established a command post at the safe and nearest place to the affected areas. After the instantaneous setup of all needed equipment and prompt briefing, all the rescue teams of the battalion was then deployed. Of course, prioritizing to rescue those who are still alive. And after the flood subsided, we then shifted to the retrieval of the bodies of the victims of the said calamity. For my unit alone, we were able to save 270 lives and retrieve 121 cadavers merely on the first day. Ikat mo muna. Hindi nilipat ni ano eh.
Okay lang sir, ikat man pa dito sir.
Sige. Merely on the first day. Okay, tuloy. After the first day, we then started to facilitate the assembly of the city's disaster response and rehabilitation management committee. And as days goes by, the DRRMC started to function effectively and well. Continuous facilitation and guide was extended by the battalion to the city's DRRMC. It was given and extended to them. We send liaison officers to work with them and put things in its proper direction. In just a few days, we were able to facilitate the functioning of all different stakeholders needed for the conduct of the disaster response operations. With these experiences and with our continuing problem on climate change and abuse of our environment, there is really a need to further prepare for similar kind of activity or even more catastrophic disasters. On the part of the AFP, who are always the immediate government entity to respond to such kind of calamities, there is a great need to train each individual soldier to disaster response operations and the whole of its activities, from mitigation, preparedness during the response proper, up to the recovery period of the affected area. And of course, there is also a need to further enhance the DRO equipment of each and every unit of the AFP. On the part of our local counterparts and other stakeholders, there is a need to be more serious in addressing this type of problem, not only on preparedness, but more so with the intense mitigation activities related to disasters. This will surely help a lot in reducing the effect of this kind of disasters.
Sir, President fulfillment, sir. Ano yung fulfill, sir?
Na nung oras na nangangailangan yung ating mga kababayan, at kahit ako sa aking sarili ay maligaya na kahit papaano sa maliit naming kakayahan ay nakatulong tayo sa paglilingkod sa mga nasalanta ng bagyo sa Iligan City.
Sir, pwede i-add mo yung sinabi ng isang sundalo sa'yo na 3 days na daw sila na walang cancer, giniginaw na, pero diretso.
Oo. Sige, sir.
Amo, sir.
Kahit na tuloy-tuloy, pagod, at puyat ang ating mga kasunduluhan, makikita natin na pursigido silang makatulong sa ating mga kababayan. Halos 1 linggo na tuloy-tuloy ang kanilang pagtulong doon sa mga nasalanta ng Bagyong Sendong, at halos wala silang itinutulog, at di na rin nila sinaalang-alang na kailangan nilang umuwi dahil noong mga panahon na yon sila ay dapat na nasa kanilang mga pamilya, kapiling ang kanilang mga pamilya sa pagdiriwang ng Kapaskuhan. Ngunit ganun pa man, na isakripisyo ng ating mga kasunduluhan dito sa Iligan ang kanilang mga pribileyo upang matulungan lamang ang ating mga kababayang nangangailangan. 41st Mechanized Infantry Company, 4th Mechanized Infantry Battalion based here in Barangay Hinaplanon, Iligan City.
Sir, pwede mo makwento yung pangyayari, sir? Paano tayo nag-move para mag-rescue, sir? Ano pong talaga nangyari?
As early as 12:30, naka-receive kami ng tawag from my platoon leader, Second Lieutenant Mimay, na may nanghihingi ng tulong doon sa may steel bridge sa Barangay Palao, Iligan City, at kaagad naman nag-responde kami doon sa tawag. Pagdating namin doon, masyado nang malakas yung tubig, at pinagbawalan namin yung mga tao na nandun malapit sa lugar na i-vacate na nila yung kanilang mga lugar, at masyado nang delikado para sa kanila. Then yung ibang tropa natin, pinasakay sa KM-250 natin, at nilagay yung mga ibang residente doon sa safer na lugar. Actually, dinala namin sila doon sa elementary school doon sa Barangay Palao.
Sir, being company commander, sir, Ano pong deployment ang ginawa mo sa mga tao, sir?
Actually, ang naging deployment noon is on need basis. So, depende yon sa sumbong na rin ng mga tao na halimbawa, sir, may pupunta rito, sir, maraming patay kaming nakita doon sa lugar na yon. So, kaagad, through our battalion commander, kasi nung nag-start kami na ng actual retrieval operation, mga alas 5, 5:30 na ng umaga dahil minabuti ng aming battalion commander na sabi niya may araw na muna bago kami mag-start para nakikita namin yung aming mga ginagawa kasi burn out na nung mga panahon na yon. Yung dispatch is sabi ko nga on need basis, kung saan talaga kailangan kami doon ko dinidispatch yung mga tropa. During that time, mga 5:30 nandito na rin noon yung personnel ng brigade sa pangunguna ni Colonel Nava, ay yung 43rd Infantry Company, yung 42nd at yung galing sa headquarters company namin. Na dumating na rin yun nung may araw na yung mga ibang personnel ng ibang batalyon, yung 64th IB, yung 15th Infantry Battalion, saka yung iba pang batalyon na malapit dito sa lugar.
Sir, tawag sa kontrol sa tao, sir, anong style na ginamit mo sa pagkontrol sa tao, sir? Mga rescue.
Yung pagdating sa control, by ano na yung deployment namin by squad. So, by halimbawa, sandali cut mo muna.
Rolling, sir.
So, ang deployment noon is by unit na. Halimbawa, yung 43rd Mechanized Infantry Company pupunta sa isang lugar, sa isang barangay na kung saan merong reported na mga patay doon sa area. So, by unit na yung deployment ni Colonel Baluyot noon. Para yung unity of effort saka yung madaling i-command dahil magkakakilala sila sa bawat squad.
Communication niyo, sir, paano, sir?
Ang form of communication, mode of communication is through cellphone. Then later on, nag-radyo na kami dahil that time brand out na rin dito sa area. Wala na rin kaming pang-charge sa mga batteries namin. So, through handheld radios pa rin yung form ng communication namin.
Sir, capability niyo, sir, para sa rescue?
Yun nga, yung nakakalungkot dahil talagang kulang or wala talaga kaming kagamitan. So, yun din yung naging sanhi nung medyo mabagal yung retrieval operations namin dahil kulang kami sa kagamitan.
Like what, sir?
Personally, nung nagre-rescue kami rito sa Hinaplano noon, yung mga patay na nadaganan ng mga troso, mano-mano namin binabuhat yan kasama yung mga CAFGO natin. Whereas kung meron sanang mga chainsaw kaming nagagamit noon, medyo napabilis yung retrieval ng mga patay ng mga panahon na yun.
Sir, how about the training, sir, sa rescue?
Wala pa kaming formal training sa rescue, retrieve, DRRO training. Yun pa yung kulang namin.
So, kailangan pa natin kailangan pa natin mag-training talaga sa tropa.
So, mas maganda kung maka-acquire tayo muna ng mga kagamitan, then later on mag-conduct tayo talaga ng formal training para sa DRRO operations. At kailangan niya natin dito bilang kami na kumpanya na designate bilang DRRO company.
Sir, during calamity, sir, paano tayo makipag-engage sa stakeholder natin, sir?
So, through coordination sa ibang agencies ng gobyerno dito sa local government, meron naman tayong constant contact din sa kanila.
Paano, sir, paano natin ginagawa yun?
Dali, Rob.
Okay, sir.
Actually, sila ang pumupunta dito sa command center kasi itong company ko, ito na rin yung ginawa naming TCP ng brigade at ng batalyon. So sila ang pumupunta rito pag may pangangailangan ng transportation assistance kasi tayo lang yung may capability ng mga panahon na yon na mag-transport kasi malalaki at malalakas yung mga vehicle natin na tayo yung unang nakakapasok doon sa mga remote areas na hindi pa napapasok ng mga civilian vehicles.
So, paano nyo minamanage yung lumalapit na mga NGOs o NGOs?
So ang pagmamanage is ano ito? So ang pagdidispatch ng mga vehicle natin is depende kung gaano karami yung dadalhin sa lugar at gaano kalayo. Siyempre hindi man pwedeng pa isa-isa lang yung vehicle natin na pag-dispatch. Kino-consider pa rin natin yung security ng mga personnel na nagtatransport ng mga relief goods doon sa area. So depende sa layo, depende sa dami. Yun yung magiging basis natin kung anong sasakyan yung gagamitin papunta doon sa lugar.
Sir, what if kung walang military sa lugar na po?
Hindi ko ma-picture kasi kung hindi talaga gumalaw yung military, lalong-lalo na ng mga panahon, yung mga unang araw ng retrieval operations, kasi nagtatanong kami noon kung sino yung in charge. So wala pa silang matukoy kung saang lugar talaga kailangan yung serbisyo ng ating mga sundalo. So nagkaroon na ng initiative yung ating battalion commander, yung acting brigade commander noon, si Colonel Nava, na i-dispatch na yung tropa. Ayon din doon sa mga sumbong na nakakarating dito sa amin sa TCP nung mga panahon na yun.
Participation ng ESP sa Sendong, sir?
Malaki yung naging contribution ng mga kasundaluhan na naka-assign dito sa Lanao del Norte, particular dito sa Iligan, kasi kami, modesty aside, kami yung unang nagresponde nung mga panahon na yun.
Kayo kaagad yung first step?
Oo, kasi kami yung nandito. So kami yung unang naka-react.